Yeah, so I think we are live. Hi, everyone. I welcome you to the very first dev meeting of this month. And yeah, in this meeting, we talk about the development that is being done on Meshery project, its future roadmap, and all the efforts that you are putting. So feel free to go ahead and write your pull requests or issues that you need clarification or any help on. This is the Google Docs that has been shared multiple times in chat. And just to make sure that if you're joining just now, you have access to chat history. You don't have access to chat history, and so I'll quickly share it again. You also can go ahead and write your name in the attendees, like myself, Yoginder, and Kirti have already done. And yeah, it goes without saying, you also can mention your open pull request or, like I said, issues or any enhancement proposal you have in this Google Docs, again, in the topics. Yeah. So we'll also be following the tradition of letting the newcomers who are joining us for the very first time on this particular call to unmute themselves and give a quick introduction. Know that if you have some mic issues or some bandwidth issues, you can introduce in chat as well. But yeah, if you would like to, please go ahead and take the stage. I'm taking a look at the participants and wonder if this is very first time for Rex joining this call. Rex, do you mind introducing?
Hi, Vivek.
Hi, Rex.
Thanks, everyone. Yes, my name is Rex. I'm based in Papua New Guinea, one of the island nations in the South Pacific. I work as a DevOps engineer in one of the largest bank also in the South Pacific. It's my first time also to be my journey into open source is just the first time. So I've been doing some development, but it's good to be part of an active community in terms of um, seeing how things are done, and then I believe it will also help in my career and learning from everyone in this community in progressing my role. So I'm really glad to be with you all for this meeting and also the journey that I've started with Layer 5. Thank you.
Wonderful. Such a great introduction, Rex. And yeah, I also invite you to join the weekly newcomers meeting that's held every Thursday. And you might have already got the invitation for that meeting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see you in that call as well.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you for your introduction. All right. So I think this is very first time for Sophia. If it's the case, do you mind giving your introduction next? Or Mohitji, I figured that it's the first time for you too. Let's wait for 5 seconds.
Vivek, may I?
Yeah, please go ahead, Ronak.
First of all, I would like to ask apologies for the last time. I did not join the last time, and the meeting before the last meeting, I could not respond that in that meeting, and so I'm asking apologies for all those things. So this is Ronak, and it's almost a month of mine with Meshery, and I'm appointed with two issues. Hope we clarify whatever is problem in the issue. I have already written it in the doc. So yeah, when my chance would come, I would explain the further things.
Wonderful. So let's ensure that we have got your agenda item into the topics. I think you've already mentioned it. So yeah, it's there. So yeah. Thank you, Ronak. So I think that was it. If you're a newcomer and still are to introduce, I recommend that you go doing that in chat. Let's roll with the standing agenda item, which is update on the CLI and UI aspects of the things, and in particular the test plan. I'm not sure if we have maintainer Matthew with us on the call. You don't. So what I will do, we'll grab this test tracker and we'll share in doc, like chat. And for UI testing and updates, let's see if we have maintainer Ian on the call. Yeah, we do. Ian, we like to go and share this update.
Yeah, so last week I took a chance to just kind of investigate into some of the, or at least objectify how stable our test suite is now that things have been in a better state than they have been in a little bit in a little while. Let me share my screen. So I put together this, and for those who aren't familiar, we do have this is the testing sheet that we have, I think, linked. It has all of our test cases for the CLI and UI. So if you want a new issue, feel free to, dig in there. And I just kind of been taking a running list on merge to master to really kind of nail down which tests are failing, why, and maybe scope out some additional work regarding anything there that may help improve the signal of our test suite in general. So overall, we have improved. There are some failing tests around connections and like the Istio adapter test. It doesn't seem like we have robust means of getting that up and running, or that may fail, or that's like a resource that needs to be booted in the CI pipeline. So uh, may continue to look into that for the next few days. Other than that, I have started the migration to the page object model that's recommended by Playwright, especially as your test suite grows. So there is a PR up. I think it's linked somewhere in here. So essentially, this will also help us kind of delineate which pages are covered. If pages change, they're kind of nicely encapsulated into, as the name suggests, just an object with their specific like methods and selectors or locators. So this will be something that we can migrate onto for the rest of the pages to kind of help reduce, code duplication and increase maintainability. Any questions?
Yeah, Ian, you might not have had an opportunity to look, but I wonder if the other Meshery client, the CLI, and maybe you said this, I got mixed up for a second, but the Istio operation that's failing to, that end-to-end test that's failing from the UI, I wonder if it is also failing from the CLI or from those tests. That would at least verify that for sure there's nothing going wrong in the
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah. Do we have visibility like this
yeah
for the CLI test or no?
yeah that's funny. Yeah, I was gonna try to pull up the well, basically I was gonna go to the same place that you are. So it's kind of funny in two ways. We would hopefully have some amount of results. So the original compatibility matrix, if you're able to
This guy here.
find a link to that, the at the very top, the second bullet or the third bullet, yeah. So these set of tests are executed in context of the workflows within each adapter repo. And so you would think like, hey, just with like from that first class perspective, of the adapter and its repo itself, how is it doing? Like you would expect this would be the most accurate representation, I would think.
Got it.
I don't
So
know.
in this case, it's not being tested and then it's failed sometimes and it's green other. Like, how do
Yeah,
I interpret that?
yeah, that's a long time actually. I wonder why it's NA. So this is an opportunity maybe for Rex, I don't know, or maybe for others who are DevOps oriented, if I could abuse the term like that. There's like within actually that hyperlink, the Meshery Istio hyperlink, the green one. I wonder if that would take you to the repo and under the actions area, if we notice any relatively recently failing actions or end-to-end tests rather. None of those look like end-to-end tests that are shown. On the left-hand side, yeah, where you are.
This build and release is the test zone.
Uh, there's this fourth one down. It's E
Yep.
to E.
Oh, right here. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I wonder if that might be end-to-end ISTIO adapter test. All right, so that particular PR probably doesn't have anything to do with the failure, but if we were to take a quick look, I guess we do some real-time troubleshooting. If you were to open up one of those, what do we see for like this adapter should be working. The other ones do need an update, and we do expect that some of them are failing, but this particular one. So we've got okay, so it gets so the Meshery pods, okay. I wonder if that, so that particular, okay. Well, I mean, that's a problem. If it's trying to deploy, you can't find the manifest file to deploy. And that's a little weird, deploy with add-ons. Yeah, all right. So good. So this is the crux of our issue. Like we're running these tests with some amount of frequency.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if there's people on the call that want to pick this up, maybe dig into this one. If this is at all of interest, even if you fail, in this case, it's fine. We wouldn't be in any worse position. So if you're on the call and interested in CI and a little bit of Kubernetes.
I think I can have a look at this one.
Yeah, Rex, that'd be helpful, man. That'd be great. There's I mean it looks like it's either that particular manifest is gone or it's just it's looking for it in the wrong location. That might be all it is. I will caveat that with I don't know that this test is necessarily written in the best way. I mean it's just I won't spoil the surprise right now. But yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be really helpful, Rex. It's a great way to get familiar with the project as well.
Yeah.
And so
It sounds good to me.
I appreciate
That makes me happy that a lot of these they were good signals, so our signals are improving. I'm always blaming the flaky ETE test, thinking, what's wrong now? So
what's wrong with my yeah. Good. It's a positive fault, a positive negative, or what is
there
the
you go. Yeah. True positive.
oh, okay. Yeah. So
So
Rex, don't hesitate with questions in the discussion forum or in Slack as you as you get familiar. And so
Mhm.
yeah, that's great.
Thank you, Ian, for sharing that update. Next up, we'll go right into the topics, but just a quick note about the training sessions that we had, and we have prepared a playlist with all those sessions recordings, so you can go and take a look at them. You also can find that towards the end of today's meeting minutes. It's right there in the docs. But now let's start covering the topics, and the first person is Yogendra. Would you like to go first and share your update?
Yeah, sure. So I was working on creating a tutorial for the Azure resources with Meshery. Now that the design is almost published, so this is the general like structure for how one could create Azure resources using Meshery. It includes both the ways, like it includes it deploying via the ASO operator as well as using the canvas, the design that I created in the Meshery. And other than this, there are some updates regarding the relationships. I was working on relationships, and also uh, the new version has come up of Azure ASO v2, and we have four new components that would be added and one new model.
Nice.
Earlier it was v2.13 model, and last week I guess there's a new release that has been created. It's this one, I think. Yeah. This new release is there, and four new components and one Entra model would be created. So I'll be updating this particular link in the spreadsheet, and in the next release we would have more models and components in that.
Well, that's exciting. Well, hey, Yogender, I wonder if there's anything else in here that, or yeah, it would be, well, a testament to your tutorial as to whether or not it works with V2, or like if the same integration that we have should work all the same, hopefully with
Yeah,
V2.
it will work with both of them there.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So they've just, it's kind of interesting under the features, maybe something we should pay attention to, but they've got the Helm, they support injecting custom environment variables into Helm. I assume that's the Helm chart for the operator itself, for the ASO itself, and not.
Yeah, not the CRDs,
Yeah.
because it doesn't support CRDs via the Helm.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, great. We'll say, hey, one other call to arms or call to action, call to volunteer, if I could. So Yogender just said he wrote, well, a brand new tutorial. And it's published, I think, or maybe it's up for review. So this is up for review. Yogender just wrote it. It's pretty fresh. He could probably use some feedback. That's in part why he's bringing it up today. So if you're on the call and you're in any way familiar with Azure or Azure or however you pronounce it, this is a great way to get involved as well, as to just volunteer to give this a run through, to either just review what's been written or hopefully review what's been written and give it a try. I think you'll get.
I can definitely do that. I have some experience with using Azure.
Yeah, sure. I've shared the this link in the chat also. So I'm gonna take a look.
Awesome. What's your last name?
Yeah, I added it to the doc now. It's Chauhan.
Oh, okay. All right, great. Very good. Thanks for volunteering, That's great. Be careful.
Thank you.
Yogender bites sometimes. He's not always receptive to feedback, so he's been known to snap back. No, I'm just kidding. That's great, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Yogender. Next up, Nikita, are you all set to present your item next?
Yep. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I want to share like small updates like on a recent PR which was merged, like about model build command, and its functionality was enhanced to be able to build not only like with a model / version, but also just specifying your model name. So like this is like a good highlights from Gemini, what's going on in this PR, and essentially so. This was the version how it was like previously, and now like we can build a model like using just model name. Here, let me just quickly show how it could be used. So let's build this like Azure Alert Manager. Copy this name and So I specify in the path and I specify in the model name. And yeah, it's building me tar artifact. We can see like this tar artifact, and now I can like import this artifact into Meshery with the model import command. Model import. Yeah, and it's showing me that it was imported successfully. And yeah, also we had to check that like only this will work only if like this folder contains only like one subfolder, because like model import doesn't support like multiple versions. So for example, like if we try to build this one, which has like a few subfolders like slash versions, so we're doing it like this, and we receive like an error that doesn't support multiple versions, but we still can build like it as it was like in the original version. So we specify here version 1.7.2, and it builds us like this tar version. And yeah, we also can export it with a model import. Yeah, this is all updates like on this topic.
Hey, do we know where the category went?
Category, like which category? What do you mean?
Well,
Sorry.
just in that last output, it looked like there might be an empty category column.
This one. No, honestly, I don't know. Like, so, like, I need to double check. Like, an interest. Yeah, here also. Yeah.
You remove the yeah, for that we removed the category section from the components. We only have that in models. That's why it's not showing up.
Yeah, I'm with you. Although we are dealing with the model at large, and so it's available info. But I mean, you're right, Yogendar. It would have to be kind of tied together. You kind of have to go get it from the model, and it's kind of actually if this makes sense to all of you, maybe I would propose that perhaps we just remove the category column, because it would just say the same thing over and over.
So, do I get it right that this category kind of is like picking this category from the like what we're trying to import, and as soon as we do not have here category, yeah, so that's why it's empty.
Well, or it's from the inside model JSON, and maybe Yogendar. Yogendar, feel free to.
Yeah, the category would be only available in the models. I guess the code is like made such way that it takes the category from the components, but it was removed in between. Those two columns were removed, category and subcategory from the components.
Yeah. I think you might probably just remove this column, because we would altogether remove the embedded model. So you would need to kind of actually get the whole model. So it would be harder in future. So yeah, I think we can remove this column from here, because it's if somebody wants to, they can describe the model directly.
Yeah, so it could be like a good first issue, yeah, to remove like this category from output of model import command.
Yeah.
Any gophers out there? Wow. Every time someone presents, we're going to have an opportunity for someone to volunteer. This is great. If you are, Nikita, do you want to describe it real fast again? Just a call for a volunteer.
Yeah, so like we have like this model import command, like in the Meshery CTL, and like when it is like after successful import, like its outputs category, which is like always or in most cases empty. So we wanna get rid of it completely, or like get rid of it if it is empty.
Could be one for Ijoma, if Ijoma's just been twiddling her thumbs, just waiting for one to come by. I don't know, Ijoma, I don't know if you'd want to do this, but it's a pretty straightforward one. Kurti, Miss Goyo, did you do some Golang recently, or was it a different kind of issue? So keep calling names until somebody responds. Mohit, Mr. G. unfortunately, IU can only volunteer for so many before he gets buried. We might. So Mohit, are you there? You up for this? No. Rodney, nope. Okay. It's the easiest dang thing in the world. Okay, I'll go.
Hello, Lee. I also know a bit of Go. So
Okay.
may
Yeah.
I? Okay, okay.
Sounds good,
Okay, I'll
Pete.
see. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good. You want to just crack open a quick issue if see if you can beat Nikita to the punch?
Okay. I'll see if I can manage.
Yeah, I mean, crack open a quick issue so you can track it, and then it might take you a little while to do the PR, but yeah.
Sure.
I thought there
All
was
right,
something.
thank you, Nick.
Yeah, sorry, Taylor. Just one other thing, real fast, Nikita. What would be? Thanks for the demo. Great demo. Thanks for receiving feedback on code that wasn't yours. By the way, the model import where there was a couple of issues that you didn't write that code, but you didn't throw up any excuses. You just took it. Great. One thing that would be even more convincing, gosh, if you took one of those models, if you exported it, if you unzipped it, modified it, rebuilt it, we're still able to successfully re-import, right? Good. So yesterday one of the notes you were making about version, that's just like that's a good note. I think you're saying, hey, if you put in a version that isn't in a format that's approved, you won't be able to import the model or build the model. No, import.
Yeah, right. I'm also curious if it is something that we wanna to update, like, or
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean,
so the version should be more general, like like how we right now have it in schema. So not only like component/version, but also like just version. Yeah.
I would think so. I mean, Abid, if you've got a moment to reflect on this, just there is inside of the model, JSON. Actually, if Nikita, if you were able to share one of
Yeah.
those,
Just share. Thing.
It's a good question. I think it's
Share.
good for everybody to be familiar with because Meshery models are so.
Yeah, so like if we go back to this model which we were building, like for example this one, yeah, it was successfully built, but like if schema version is just like in a more like general format like v1 beta, so model import will give us an validation error. So let me build it. This one. Yeah, Azure Alert Management. So I built it, and now I'm trying to do model input, sorry. Oh, no. No, so it's maybe not here, but like, I mean, like it was Azure Alert Management. I didn't save it, sorry.
Yeah, it might be inside the schema
No,
version
no,
of like component definition.
I
Probably.
didn't press Ctrl S, sorry about that. I rebuilt it again and the model import, and now it is failing. Yeah, and it is saying that like here schema version is empty or has an incorrect value, like.
Yeah.
But if we
Let's
come
look
back
into-
again, yeah, if we come back
Yeah.
again, like to the version with, I assume with slash, it's probably
Yeah.
checking, yeah, and then like mhm.
Yeah, there are the issues that we use the whole key as the version. So it's not just the v1 beta 1, but like the whole thing models.measure.io slash v1 beta 1. We like recognize the model definition using that. Because like the kind of the way what we were trying to do is like using it to know what kind of resource we are dealing with. Because if we only had like v1 beta 1, we wouldn't know like what resource it is. Like, is it a component definition? Is it a model definition or is it a relationship definition? But this whole key together, like models.measure.io slash v1 beta 1, if we find this inside any resource, we know like for sure it was like a model. It might still be wrong, like that there might be some field wrong, but we know like the thing was supposed to be a model. So that's why we had this like big thing, not just v1 beta 1. So it's like the name of the source slash v1 beta 1.
I'm curious, like maybe then we should like in our schema update like that schema version should have like this format, like
Yeah, we should update the
okay,
default value there.
okay.
Yeah, also yeah, same for other resources also, like components, relationships. Yeah.
Right.
Shoot. Sorry, guys. I totally spaced out. Just really quick. We don't have a separate. Didn't hear anything. So we don't have a separate kind. Hence, we need to specify.
Yeah,
Okay, great. Nice.
the whole thing is at schema. Yeah.
Yeah, let me quickly share. So this is an item from Ian, and I wonder if Ian already covered.
Nice. I think we lost Vivek. He's frozen for everyone, right? For a second. Okay, I was looking at everybody. Everybody looked frozen for a second. So I was like, oh geez, is it me? Anyway, is the next item Ian? Potentially? Ian, I don't know if you want to cover this one now.
Yeah, Ian might have already covered it in the UI updates.
Okay.
Yeah, Sangram, I think. Let's take a look. Sangram, would you like to share this update?
Yeah, I just want to. So I'm in between a couple of other things going on, but I just want to let you guys know that this has been implemented. Obviously, there is no code that needs to be updated on the repo, but just to kind of keep everyone in the loop, we have implemented an rsync of the backups to a remote server, which is Metal 2, and there's a daily cron set up with a 2-hour gap. So we'll not close the issue yet. We'll monitor it for maybe I'll monitor it till the weekend and then close it off. But yeah, I mean this is done. Thanks.
Wow, thanks a bunch, Sangram. I don't know if just to add some context for this for everyone else, when you use the Meshery playground, anyone that uses the Meshery playground, like you're required to get an account so that if you do nefarious things, you'll be held accountable for those. Also, so that if you create designs and want to do deployments, that you can have a user account where you save those things. Anyway, Sangram's been taking care of that environment for a while, and one of the bare metal servers that supports that environment, had and is still having some issues. And so the server was down for a little while last week on Friday. So the playground was unaccessible. It's kind of nice on one hand to get people asking about where it's at or if it's down, just kind of nice because it means people are using it quite a bit. But it was also kind of scary because what Sangram is taking care of here is the fact that the database behind it is backed up, and it does have a monthly and weekly and daily schedule, but the backups are kept local to that same physical server. So he's ensuring that they're being replicated. So this is great. Sangram, you also had to, as part of this, did you end up having to partition or format rather the other two?
So we actually have 4 disks on each of these servers. 2 are 250 gigs approx and 2 are 500s. I've used one entire 500, very similar to the one that we have on Metal 3. So yeah, I mean, an entire disk dedicated on Metal 3 and Metal 2 for backups. And I'm thinking of including some other important things from Metal 3 that are important for Meshery Cloud as well. Um, so yeah, I guess we can include a few other things, just in case something goes wrong, then we like values.yaml or stuff like that.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah, that's great. Out of curiosity, just do you know of those two, about approximately 500 gig SSDs, are they set up in a RAID configuration? I wonder.
So from the OS perspective, I couldn't figure it out. I am not sure if, but yeah, I mean, if they were RAID, they would appear as a single disk, not as two separate disks. That's so I'm assuming that all four are individual disks presented to us. If there is some sort of RAID in the background, that probably will not be privy to us. But yeah, as a disk, they're all separate disks. The reason I did not combine them into a single logical volume is I've had issues with LVMs unless we really have a need for it. So the idea was to keep it pretty, and since we are rotating our backups, we really don't need a lot of storage. So 500 gigs is more than enough. Keeps things simple in terms of recovery as well.
Makes sense. Oh yeah. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Sangram. I don't think we have Kalal on the call. Yep, so we'll be skipping past this item and we'll go to Sai. Yeah, Sai, would you like to share your screen and walk us through the update? The schema-driven values.
Hello. Uh, 1 second.
Just in case you need some time to get the screen going or spin the server, maybe we can circle back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, Sai. So signal please when you are ready. Next up, Ranit. Would you like to go next?
Yeah. It's okay. Is my screen still on?
Yeah.
So, firstly, I would like to discuss the TypeScript migration. For that, the PR is already set. It needs to be merged. Currently, already I have encountered 2 times merge conflicts. I have fixed those. Review has been done by Naman. Naman asked about the types directory. The only reason type directory isn't showing in the PR is because the way Git handles, Git only takes into account if there's a file inside the directory. Since there's no file inside the type directory at the moment, so it is not being accounted into the PR. But I would like it to get merged as soon as possible because otherwise another merge conflict may arise, and so that the migration can get going. If that's what I want. Any feedback?
I think I think right now like everything is building properly and we don't have kind of any breaking change. So yeah, I might take a look and might merge this. So there was I think another guy who was also working on the same thing. Like, did you guys collaborate or like which PR is going to get merged? Because I think there were two conflicting PRs last time.
Actually, he never raised a PR. This was the only one that has been raised regarding the issue.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
So kindly get this merged.
I don't know. Wait, this is so this is one of those instances where hey, if it ain't broke, maybe like don't fix it. Maybe. Sounds like this was. Did you have statistics on the performance improvement? We're doing this.
This is
Yours.
the TypeScript migration. We didn't.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm confusing two different PRs. So this is not a SWC. This is not
Yeah.
moving from Babel to. Okay, there's a
No,
different PR.
this is just a TypeScript migration. Yeah. It's quite a bit large PR at that moment. I have already tested it myself, and people have reviewed it. So if it can get merged, that would be really good.
Maybe. You gotta stop. The more that you pressure for it, the more that it makes me feel like, oh shit, we shouldn't merge it. There's something amiss. I don't know. Just people make that mistake a lot. Like,
I'm I'm open to feedback. The thing is, merge conflicts keep arising. That's the issue.
Yeah. So let's get you some reviews, Ranit, and then maintainers will definitely take a look at it.
Yeah,
In the
we
meantime,
need
if you have
to
anything to
see this.
flag, you can share
The
in Slack.
next agenda.
Yeah, please go ahead.
May I continue?
you gotta
Yeah,
you
sure,
gotta
please
move
go ahead.
forward anyway. Pratik, did you have something you wanted to ask? You just got a ton of background noise. Ranit, Pratik, what do you need?
Yeah, is it okay now?
Am I audible?
Yeah, I was just saying that we need
Okay.
to review it again. I guess some things were broken when I last saw it. Yeah. Is it building properly right now? Run it.
Ranit, you're on mute.
Am I audible again?
Yeah, so since like the both of you have some background noise, I think
Am I
I
audible?
wondered
Hello?
if you can continue this conversation in Slack, Pratik and Janet.
Yeah,
Is the
no
noise now
problem.
out? Like, I think my
Yeah. So both of
mic
you
was
have some
mute
background
till now.
noise, and it's really hard to hear. Maybe you can continue in the Slack.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, all
I
right.
have some problem in
Thanks a bunch, folks.
Okay. Should I discuss the next agenda at least?
Ranit, so I think I mentioned it twice, and it would be best if we discuss your items in Slack. There's some background noise from your side, and you also keep baking out. If it's okay by you, we can, continue discussing your updates in Slack.
Now is it okay?
Yeah, all right.
I did turn the ceiling fan off. If
Really?
that's clear.
Oh, you're kidding me. What's that thing moving above your head? Oh God, I hate a liar. You're not lying to me, are you? Renit?
No, I just turned it off.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. It's still spinning down. Great. Anyway,
No.
Vivek has made a call. We're going to move on to the next topic. So good. Hey,
Yes.
we'll follow up in Slack. Thanks a bunch, man. That's good.
So Wiley, you have this update on Meshery CTL. Are you all set to go?
Yeah, let me
I don't-
share. Okay, about this issue, it's a CTL issue. So I wonder if it's like a proper approach to it. So I just want you guys to check about it. And so there are the core implementations. Just for information, like before that, we don't have when the file read from the Google spreadsheet, then the problem is for each component we don't have any code to address the capabilities. So I add all these functions, so we can read from the capabilities and write it in the metadata. And so this is a whole processing logic.
Wiley, it's possible that there's some background film kind of thing on your screen. So are you not sharing a full window or Chrome properly or whatever browser it is?
Okay.
You can try sharing.
Oh, did you see that right now? Oh, wait.
Probably the brightness.
Okay, just give me a second.
Yeah, now it's good. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Should I?
Yeah, it's right now. Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay. Let me check it again.
Yeah, it's working fine now.
Okay. So, about this issue, for this is the issue that we don't have any like default capabilities for the new components. So I fixed this, but I wonder if the like the right approach. The core implementation is with all this method, it can read from the CSV files and read the capabilities and store it in the metadata. So the processing logic is we have the Google Sheet branch and the CSV branch. And it follows the schema-driven approach. So after that, you can check a code for a sec because there is some test failed, but I wonder if the right approach, like the right logic. So I add all this like strings to start it, and there is some error check, and after that, there's a whole the code I added for the reading the CSV file. So I didn't like change other things. It's only in this generate go file. So I wonder if right approach, or do I need to like change somewhere else?
Yeah, it's really it's really difficult to be wily and be asking a question and then sort of wondering, is anybody understanding what I'm saying? So you asked the question a couple of times. I think for my part, I'm just trying to catch up with the issue and so right now, if memory serves, and just for everyone else's knowledge, there's a single Google spreadsheet that's very large, and it has a list of all of Meshery's models and all of Meshery's components. And
This one.
and this is one way of creating new models. One way of creating a model is putting them into a spreadsheet.
Yeah, and before that, so everybody didn't get like the issue is what the issue is, right? I didn't explain it well.
Okay.
Okay, so the issue is based on this doc, we need to get like everything to store in the YAML file. But currently, with the command registry generate, we don't have like we didn't save the default capabilities, which is here in this column R. Might have some like parent or inventory. Here, like there is a parent capabilities. So my PR solved this. So for now, I just create a bunch of functions. When the user call this command, the capabilities will save as the metadata to the file. And that's it. That's what I did for this PR.
So like I have a question, like what's the different fallbacks that you're like? I think we should just have kind of a one implementation, either getting it from directly like the row 3 of the spreadsheet or getting it from the component.json's capabilities. So like the default from there, like we should just have one, because otherwise it's hard to know like which one will be applying or when we change things. And I kind of like if we probably take it from the component JSON's like default field, because that would always stay static, but the rows might change in the spreadsheet. So, but yeah, I think my proposal is like just having one of the two approach, like either getting it from the schema or from the spreadsheet, not like having both and then from like just simplifying the logic there, just having one of the two.
Okay, but the workflow is I will check the Google Sheet for first, and after that I will like update if there is like some changes in the existing like CSV file, and the code will like check it after. It's like a first and second.
And so like what we can do is like we want, I think probably we don't need to like go through the two phase. Like what we do is like while we are populating the component, like while we are kind of building the updated component inside the update file, update section of the code, we can like at that time see like if the capabilities is nil or is empty, we like assign default. So we won't need to go like do two passes of the same components. Like inside the component update stage, or like I think it's the same, those are part of them are shared between the generate and update command, but at that stage where we are like updating or creating the component from the CSV, would like see if the capabilities are empty, then add the default capabilities. And after like I think the update command also like writes back to the spreadsheet, so it should probably like write back the updated like the default set to the spreadsheet also. So otherwise we won't be doing that. We won't be writing back to the CSV, and it would just like have like it would be a redundant second phase, and which would separately track. Other we just like track it during the same update command or update command. So while we are like building the updated component from the CSV, would also check if the capabilities is empty, then just assign the default from either of the two, like either from get from it from the schema or get it from the spreadsheets, like third row.
Wait, I didn't get it. It's like, and you're saying my logic is like it's not correct, right?
It's kind of correct, but it's kind of redundant also, and it won't work in some like there are some edge case like if you do it in a second pass, then we won't be updating the spreadsheet back with the default set. So if we do it just in like in the same place where we are like writing the component to the disk, we'd also assign the default set at that time. If like at the same stage while we are reading the CSV, we will check like just if it's empty, then assign the default. So kind of just a default check, because there are already some other there, like there should be some other default checks also in place. Like it should be the same thing that we do for other properties, like what's the default for primary color, like what we do while we fallback, what is the fallback for the SVG. It's like the using the models as so kind of like inside the same stage where we do all of the other processing, rather than being it a second pass or a separate pass.
Okay, I can modify later. So I should think like as a whole default rate instead of like divided into.
Hey, Wiley, sorry to interrupt.
Mhm.
Yeah, please go ahead. Lee.
Okay.
No, time check.
Yeah. So it would be just great if we could, follow up on this in Slack channel. We are running out of time and have, many agenda items to cover.
Do you guys have other questions? I can change.
I mean, if we can continue this conversation in Slack, so Abid will also be there and others can also chime in.
Okay. Okay. If we follow the agenda, we need to move to the next person, right? And because I see like some, you're talking about the UI, for the overlap of this issue. If you guys want to talk about it, we can talk about it later, or based on the agenda.
We will talk about it in website channel.
Okay.
All right, let me quickly share my screen. Next up, Abid would like to cover this update.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, I have a pretty small update. So it's the updates regarding the Docker extension that we maintain for Meshery. So for those who don't know about this extension, so if you are using Docker or basically like Docker desktop, you can find inside the extensions marketplace, there's an extension specially for Meshery. So it integrates with Docker desktop and helps you with a bit helps with you like with your Docker, and also like just acts as like an entry point to your Meshery server. It like automatically when you install the extension and launch it, in the background it starts a Meshery server also as a VM inside the Docker. So you can use this as as a way to launch your Meshery instances. So this extension has been like maintained for a while. It's pretty old, but there were just some issue. First, there were some bugs with the extension, so we're not properly able to log in and do some other things. So I think some of you guys like mentioned that in the Meshery channel. So those are now fixed, and as we are going to kind of like enhance this extension in some ways, we'll probably migrate it from. So right now this extension resides inside the Meshery repo, inside like a pretty odd place in the installed folder of Meshery. So we are moving it away from Meshery repo to Meshery extensions and having it as a separate project inside the Meshery extensions org. So let me share that. So this is the place now where this extension will reside and will be developed here as a separate project. So we have more room like to properly manage it, and there would be separate workflows and everything for this. And it just like isolates it from Meshy a bit. And so now this is the room for the extension. So we have this here and we'll enhance it a bit here. So if anybody's like interested in like creating or working on this section, they can now work from here. So it's basically a kind of an Electron project that Docker has, where you can basically create extensions for Docker. So any questions?
I think not.
Yeah. So yeah, another small thing that's regarding this extension is like, because now we are moving away from a separate repo, I realized some of the things were breaking like with the versions, and then like how we're checking the version of Meshy, but then I realized like probably we shouldn't be doing that, because we were using that for embedding Meshy CTL inside your host Docker source. So I think because we don't use that anywhere, so maybe we should just go ahead and remove the embedded Meshy CTL from here. So I'm doing that, and let's see how that works out. So it won't install Meshy CTL on when you install the extension. It won't now install Meshy CTL also, which was it was doing previously. But yeah, that's mostly it.
Does anyone have any thoughts or questions on these updates? All right, so we are 1 minute over the time, and so I think we couldn't get to many items. And I'll quickly make this call for presenters. Maybe if there's anything urgent to be discussed, and you think we should cover it right now, I think we can just cover one urgent item. Let's wait for 10 seconds if we have any.
Hey, Vivek, may I?
Ronak, so I think it's Ronak. Yeah. I think you were pointing to some issues. Are they really
So,
urgent to be discussed into this call?
like, I've been waiting for the last two meetings and I'm unable to present it.
Yeah, let's cover your item quickly.
Yeah. Is it visible to everybody?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity. So I wanted to discuss this issue about Meshery installations. Keeping in care, this is about the Helm installation, Helm charts. So it was about adding a new flag to allow the installation of Meshery without the CRDS. So this issue was, so I opened a PR and whatever it was required, I have done all the initial steps. Like I have added the install CRDS true flag in values.yml, wrapped the CRDS YML with the if logic. And one more thing, like it is like a Helm characteristic. When I did this logic, it was not executed when I was implementing it. So I moved the entire CRDS folder under the template folder so that this logic is executed. After that, I did the README documentation, but the problem arose at the E2E test. Like I created the test, and when I come to my VS Code, when I ran that test, actually the test was going well. Like it uh, it checked the path of installing the Meshery with the CRDS and with not even the CRDS. Okay, there is the issue. So I want to say that the installations, the E2E test was passing when I was doing that in my Visual Code. But the problem is with the GitHub CIs. Here we can see like 5 of the checks are not passed, and they are the major CIs, like installing the CRDS with installing the Meshery installations with CRDS and without CRDS. Those are only failing. So I went to the logic. So I went to the playwright report, checked the thing, and the problem was maybe there is already a Meshery server that exists, which is not letting the Helm installations take place, and that was the reason that the CIs that the new installation is unable to take place, and that could be the reason why the CIs are not passing. So if these CIs pass, we'll be able to merge this issue. So I wanted to just discuss this. What about these 5 failing checks?
So because like the issue might be because you have moved the CRDs, like the location of CRDs, because like when we try to set up the test server here, we also try to install some of the dependencies. So maybe it's like we are in some place in code we are probably referring to the CRDs by their location, and you might have changed that and it's breaking. So
Yeah.
you can like try to
what-
quickly look. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. What are the 5 failing checks? Do they have anything to do with this area of the code? Ronak, if you've been waiting to present for a while, hopefully you'd be prepared with like a webcam. It is very helpful to connect with folks. So which 5 failing checks?
These are the checks.
Great. Okay. Oh, these are the new ones that you've written? Yes or no? Are these new and this is what you've written or no?
Yes.
Okay. Are these checks using your code that are in your PR, or is that the code from master?
I think they use the code that I have used in the PR.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, actually, I guess it must if your end-to-end tests are showing up here, right? Because these tests haven't been merged yet, correct?
Yes.
I don't know if you checked there is a trace view of them. I look at the trace and see what's failing and why.
Like I went to the playwright report and it shows that the Helm installation is unable to take place.
Okay. And why? Okay. And
Maybe because there is a server that already exists and we are not able to clear the server before the new installations take place.
Cool. Okay. And then you guys have seen Dude, Where's My Car, right? And then Ronak, and then what? And then you got to go follow that up with uninstalling the. Sounds like there's a conflicting install of Meshery server. Is that right?
Yeah, so like the issue is that, as I said, like we already have a server running inside this test here. So I think that there's 2 issues. Like one thing is like these tests shouldn't be in here, like inside the playwright test here. It's just for the UI testing. So I think you are trying to kind of install a new version of like Meshery without CRDs using it. So it would break because we already have one running. So it should be as a separate, probably like inside a separate suite, because right now there would be always a Meshery server running which is used for testing, which is like basically for because you are running it inside the UI testing step, which is kind of odd for if you're trying to reinstall Meshery.
Ronak, this is great, man. This is helpful. We want to help you get past it. It's good that you presented today. Thanks for pushing to present. There is a separate a framework for writing end-to-end tests for Meshery CTL or using Meshery CTL The CTL, the CLI, it is the other Meshery server client. There's the UI and the CLI. Have you seen that other framework for the CLI tests?
Like my test was a UI test, and I have checked the documentation.
Yep, we're well aware of that. We're saying don't do that. What are we saying after don't do that?
Okay, I will check it once again.
No, you didn't answer my question. We said don't write end-to-end Meshery UI tests using Playwright. Don't do that. Good job on writing them, but don't write those. It's inappropriate. Instead, what are we saying to do? Ronak, you got that video so I can see if you're thinking or pissed off or you didn't hear me or embarrassed or your mom's talking to you or something. I don't know. But so, Ronak, can you turn your video on?
Okay.
Awesome. There he is. Very good. This is great work, man. Let's make sure that you're supported. Am I speaking too quickly?
Please come again.
Am I speaking too quickly?
No, you're
Okay.
speaking all right.
Good deal. What is your next step?
So I understand that the conflict could be because I'm using Playwright for writing my report, for writing the E2E test,
And then?
and then I have to check the other option that is in the documentation.
For what? The other option for what?
Using Meshery CLI.
To do what?
Okay, I got it.
To do what? Hey, Renek,
So
this is not an embarrassing. Like, just to be clear, like, there's all kinds of things that I have no idea about. There's all kinds of mistakes and things that I make. You're not even making a mistake here, by the way. I'm just spending extra time trying to help you, and so are the other 30 people that are on the call. So take the help. Like, and the reason I'm harassing you almost with like question after question is to make sure, is to guarantee your success. Otherwise, we're all wasting our time here. So you have to set aside any semblance of pride that might be getting in your way right now, and get to the thing that you need to know, which is there's a contributing guide for it. Because trust me, man, I made a mistake earlier. I told Abid, I miscommunicated with him, and he went off and spent a bunch of time doing a bunch of work doing something else, and it's my fault. See how I can publicly announce that? It's my fault. It's my fault that Wiley is trying her best to figure out how to get an edit button on the dashboard, and she's trying to navigate some very hard to navigate thing. It's my fault. So if I can say those things publicly, you can say, like, yeah, hey, I don't know. This is new to me. You're going to go to Meshery Docs, to the contributing guides. You're going to find that there's a specific page for writing end-to-end tests that are focused on Meshery CLI, which is what you said a second ago. Great. It so happens that the framework there, it's not Playwright. Fine. It is called BATS, is the name of it. It's Bash scripting. And so you'll want to convert your end-to-end tests from Playwright to BATS, and you'll be closer to the problem at hand. You'll have a lot more control over like the thing that you're running into, which sounds like what you're running into is by the time that your end-to-end tests run, to skip installation of the CRDs, probably there is already an installation of Meshery earlier in the workflow. So that's going to mess up your test. You need to be able to insert your tests even higher, like at that very point by which Meshery is being installed in the first place. And so you'll want to, I'm unfamiliar with the specifics of how Meshery is being installed in that particular PR and that test suite. But that might be a UI specific test suite. So as you get into it, there's probably a workflow dedicated to end-to-end tests for Meshery CLI. And I think you'll have a lot easier time, as you reapproach just that section. It might be that the rest of your Golang code is all good to go, but just the update on those tests. Does that help?
Yes, yes.
Nice. Oh, nice. Great. Nikita on the call is already a fan of yours, and he's got a similar area of focus. So he's a great individual to ask questions of. He's pretty nice, actually, pretty friendly. Unlike Yogendar, who's bites every once in a while. No, he's not on the call. I can't pick on him.
Likely another question
Got him.
from my side.
Yep.
Like
Wait. Before you go, hey, for the rest of everyone else, thanks a ton for coming today. If you're interested in the rest of the conversation, please hang out. But otherwise, we've had a great meeting, and we'll let you all go. And so, yeah, thanks a bunch. Thanks, everybody. Ronak, what other question did you have?
Like the question was, if we skip the CRDS, maybe the Meshery operator installation will be hampered if
Yep,
the
absolutely.
operator does not
Yep,
install.
yeah, totally. It won't. It shouldn't. You're totally right. That's correct. Now that you have an understanding of the issue, you can go write a PR for it. Yeah, that's a fundamental understanding of what we're trying to do. Skip the install of the operator. You're right that it would fail.
So if the operator is not working well, we cannot achieve the full of Meshery's functionality.
Yeah, yeah.
So why are we trying to skip the CRDS?
Because sometimes we don't want to achieve the full functionality of Meshery. Meshery can generate load from 2 or 3 different there's all kinds of things that Meshery can do without Kubernetes. As a matter of fact, it says it in the Meshery overview. It's kind of one of the first things it says. It says Meshery is Kubernetes centric, but not Kubernetes required. Thanks, Abid. See you later. Yeah, you're right, Ronak. It'll be a reduced amount of functionality that people can get. As you familiarize and socialize with Nikita, he'll have a slightly different story to be able to tell you as well about some upcoming work with respect to MeshSync. Yeah, Ronak, you're on the right trail. Anything else?
I'm just wondering, like, why we call it like skip CRD? Should we like do it like skip operator completely? Like maybe no.
Yeah, it could be, or it could be like embedded mesh sync. Like could be a totally different.
But so we suppose it is kind of different stuff, yes? So like doing skip CRD is not like immediately assuming that we have MeshSync as a library, so it can be kind of different stuff, yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that should be one and the same.
Okay, yeah. So it could be like eventually later on, like some only one param, yeah, like kind of embedded mode and
or now
operator mode, yeah.
Yeah, or actually now, like before, like there shouldn't be skip CRDs. Maybe, right? There should just be a
embedded mode.
Yeah, embedded mode or no operator, or like is there a difference? Like is there? I guess the question that you're teasing out is like, well, and Ronak is right on the money. Like it's like, is there a Ronak saying if we don't have the CRDs, the operator is not going to work? He's right. We're going to be in a reduced state of functionality. Is there a difference? And this is a question for Nikita to ruminate on. That is there a difference between, or are there use cases for a deployment of Meshery without a Meshery operator, and yeah, anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, Nikita. Are the two mutually exclusive? Like, if you don't have an operator, does that mean that you're automatically in embedded mesh sync mode, or can you just disable them both? And that's the question. Is Meshery?
Yeah, I understood like from your like previous like discussion like that we can like just go with Meshery without mesh sync at all, like yeah, just like in the design mode.
Yeah, they're not mutually, just by the way, they're not, they shouldn't be mutually exclusive. Like, yes, there are use cases for deploying, you might want to deploy Meshery to a Kubernetes cluster that is your management cluster. And you're not necessarily wanting Meshery to install an operator and deploy and manage that particular cluster. You just want to manage the other ones. That's one example of a scenario in which you don't like the two things aren't the same. It's like don't install the operator and don't synchronize with, don't use embedded mesh sync with the management cluster. Another one can be that you're deploying Meshery out of context of Kubernetes anyway. In the mesh config, when you're using Meshery CLI, I'm saying this for Ronak, is that the config.yaml, when you create a Meshery CLI context, a Meshery CTL context, one of the parameters is to specify what platform you want to install Meshery on, Docker or Kubernetes. If you're choosing to install Meshery on Docker, like Docker Desktop or just some Docker engine, well, implicitly, you're also electing not to use Helm to deploy Meshery. So like Meshery's deployment options are fairly varied. Yeah, you guys will get together, tease out some. There's existing design specs that tease some of this out, by the way. I mean, not tease it out, like there's existing designs, there's fully functionality for many years of like deploying Meshery to Kubernetes, deploying Meshery to Docker. You're just enhancing and making it a little more, you're supporting one more option or two more options when deploying to Kubernetes. The ability to skip the operator and the ability to choose what mode of mesh sync you want. Like, and that's the question is like, it might make sense if it's just called the same thing, like what mode, like deployment mode, with operator, without operator, with synchronization, without, or like embedded operator, separately deployed operator. Like it might be good to call it the same thing. Anyway, thanks, Rex. Yeah, sounds good. Rex, if you do reach out to me on Slack, make sure you do it publicly if you would, just as I say that out loud, just so that everyone else
Yes.
all can hear.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's good to have you, Rex. It's good to have everybody else. That's it for me, folks. You guys are welcome to hang out and talk more if you like. But Ronak, thanks, man.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in a newcomers meeting tomorrow. But
Thanks,
yeah, that was
Vivek.
it. Bye.
Bye.